Hello, привет, hola, guten tag, ahoy, and good morning. Welcome to my persuasive speech on learning a second language. So today we're going to talk about some of the benefits and challenges of learning a second language. So hopefully by the end of this, you will be convinced to pursue another language if you haven't already started. So, a quote from Gary Lineker said that modern languages help prepare you for modern life. And that is especially important in our globalized world nowadays. So, like I said, some of our preview is going to be so, what is language? Some of the benefits of learning a second language, some of the common challenges people face, and some of the common excuses people use. And then how you can actually take action. So, what are resources available to you that you can use to learn a second language more easily? So, according to Vesper, Debat, and Lowy in 2011, language is about meaning making, which is linked to cognition and conceptualization. So, language is by itself really arbitrary. We've decided that these certain sounds that come out of our throat mean certain things. Like we have decided that this is a pen, or that this is a cup or a tumbler or whatever you call it based on whatever region you're from. But according to the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis from 2016, you know these different ways that we speak and the languages that we speak shape how we see the world. So when I speak English, I see the world differently than when I'm attempting to speak Spanish, or when I'm speaking Czech, or when I'm speaking in Chinese, or insert whatever language you want. So, our worldview potentially, it's just a hypothesis, so not 100% proven, but our worldview may change based on how we're actually forming the words in which language we're speaking, which is kind of interesting to think about. So, some of the reasons why you should use a second language: it creates more positive attitudes and less prejudice. Your analytical skills improve. And if you're going to take the SAT and GRE, it can improve your math and English skills on those. It allows you to gain a better understanding about your own culture, allows you to become more self-reflexive. It enhances your opportunities in the job market. So when you speak a second language, you might be able to make more money or have more opportunities for jobs. International travel becomes easier because you can talk to different people, you can get directions, and you feel more comfortable when you are doing these travelings. And it expands your view of the world, limits barriers, and makes you more flexible and tolerant. And this is from 25 Reasons to Study a Foreign Language in 2016. So, what are the excuses that people use to not learn a foreign language? So, according to 5 common excuses not to learn a foreign language in 2013, most people will say, oh, I don't have the time. Everyone already speaks English. I can get by with that just fine. I'm not talented with languages. It takes too much time. It's too expensive to take the classes. Or people say, it's like, oh, no, I'm just way too old to learn a second language. While a young child might be the ideal time because we forget how hard it was, but age is no excuse. So according to a study done by DeLange in 2011, adults performed better than children at language acquisition and remembrance. So adults are better at learning languages, according to this study, than younger kids. So you may think you're too old, but you're not. So honestly, though, it does really take a lot of time. It is challenging to learn another language. You could very well fry your brain. Well, hopefully not. It does add to the academic load. It can be expensive, and you can definitely mix up words and say things you might not particularly mean to say. So I do have a funny story that goes along with that. So my best friend and I, we were in community college. This was gosh, 8 years ago now. We were sitting down to lunch, and of course he'd been teaching me a little bit of Czech here and there. And some of the words are cognates. So cognates are words that, you know, they sound the same and mean the same, like police. Police is a cognate in a lot of languages. So in Czech, it's like polici or whatever. In Italian, I think it's polizi as well, or polizia. In English, it's the police. So I was sitting there, you know, with my lunch, and I had peaches on my plate. And, you know, I was just like, so it's like, you know, what's the word for peaches? Is it just something like picha? And he just bursts out laughing. He's just sitting there at the table, like laughing hysterically. People are turning to look around at us like, what is going on? And he just kind of looks at me and says, if you go to the market and ask for picha, they are going to send you to the brothel. And let's just say, I will never forget that. And the actual word for peach is broskev, or broskvovi for plural peaches. So I'm glad I asked that before I ever went to the Czech Republic, because that could have definitely been extremely, extremely embarrassing. And then one of the challenges, besides mixing up your words, obviously, is that it can definitely be expensive. So this is the class that I took through the University of Iowa. My Czech class cost almost $1,000 for one class. So it was, you know, $300 per credit hour. However, at EAC, we do have language classes that are like $100 a credit hour. And there are some free resources. So this is the Foreign Service Institute. It's a function of the US government. They do have like free online language learning textbooks that you can go through, and obviously like you may not be able to hear it, but you can see some of the pronunciation. You can see how the grammar is structured. And then they have all of these different languages, and the languages are put into different categories. So ones that are really closely related to English are category 1. So they're really easy for English language learners or English speakers to learn. Category 2 are a little bit harder. Category 3, a little bit harder than that. Category 4, pretty darn hard. And then category 5, languages like Arabic, both Cantonese and Mandarin, Japanese, Korean, are very hard for English speakers to learn, but it's doable. There's also like Mango Languages. If you have a Safford library card, you have access to Mango Languages for free. And you can listen to how things are pronounced. They have a whole bunch of different languages. You can record yourself speaking it and play it back, so you can compare it to how the speaker on the app said it. And it's really actually kind of fun to use, and they have like little games and stuff that helps you remember it. So I hope that has convinced you to go and learn a second language. We've talked about some of the benefits, which can be both financial benefits, you know, that mental plasticity benefit. And I will leave you with a couple really cool Czech words. You have komin, which is a chimney, or plural komini, because you have 2 chimneys. And then you have the word for river, which is řeka. I know that R is really, really weird to pronounce, but it's, you know, it's really interesting and fun to be able to know all these different words for different things and see how different people see the world based on how they speak. So thank you. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Adios. Do svidania. And goodbye.